The views and opinions expressed on the following program are not necessarily those of the staff and management of Salem Media of Hawaii.
Welcome to Hawaii Money Resource with financial advisor Marko Mijuskovic.
Marko Mijuskovic is registered representative and financial advisor of Park Avenue Securities LLC, 7 Hanover Square, New York, New York, 10004, and at Fell Strategy Partners, 677 Ala Moana Boulevard, Suite 720, Honolulu, Hawaii, 96813. This show is for informational purposes only. Individual risk tolerance and investment objectives must be reviewed prior to making any specific recommendations.
And now your host, Marko Mijuskovic.
Welcome back. You're listening to Hawaii Money Resource. My name is Marko Mijuskovic, and you are listening to Hawaii Money Resource daily, Monday to Friday, 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. You can also hear us online. So if you're in front of a computer, you can click on the button that says Listen Live, and you can stream live our show every day, Monday to Friday, 5 to 6 p.m. Hawaii Money Resource online at hawaiimoneyresource.com, hawaiimoneyresource.com. So if you are on the website, there is more stuff that you can inquire about it. You can learn more what we do in our office. You can learn more about business exit planning. You can see what's coming up when it comes to the seminars. Download the podcast. You can also subscribe for the RSS feed and much, much more. One of the good things is you can see the pictures of our guests when they come to our show because we're posting that all online. And it's pretty much up to speed. Hawaii Money Resource, every day what we do. When we do have a guest, we try to pick their brain for 1 hour. We try to present them as a business owner from that perspective. We try to learn everything they did in their business from the beginning all the way to present day. When we do not have a guest in our show, we talk about business and how to position your business so you can one day leave that business in style. Well, guess what? Today we do have a guest. We have a few people in our studio. One is going to be undercover, and the other person is going to be speaking. So today's guest is Ana Ilento-Sneed.
Hi, Marko.
Did I say that right?
Yes, you did.
President and attorney of ES&A, a law corporation. Just for you, if you're wondering, like I did earlier, it was a misconception, my biased opinion. I was thinking that ES&A stands for three probably last names of people that are running the office, but I was wrong. Actually, E stands for envision, S stands for strategize, and the A stands for actualize.
That's right. That's our process.
That's your process. Perfect. Mm-hmm. And we're going to talk about it in a little bit. In our second segment, we're going to talk about business. Just give me a 30-second overview of your law corporation.
Oh, we're a small law firm. We started on March 2nd of 2015. So we just made 10 months. So we have, 13 people in our office, 6 attorneys, including myself. 3 HR advisors who have advanced degrees in HR, human resources, and then 4 staffers to help us, take care of all of our clients. So we do labor, employment, government contracts, and corporate governance. And soon, we hope, cybersecurity issues as well.
Wow. So a lot of good stuff, a lot of interesting stuff. It can put you to sleep in the evening, but we need it, right? Anyway, so tell me a little bit about yourself personally.
I was born here in Hawaii. I grew up in Wahiawa in the middle of the pineapple fields. Went to public school and then went away. Mom and Dad sent me away to college on the mainland. So I went from Hawaii to the Claremont colleges in California and then up to Berkeley. Ended up becoming a labor attorney. I wanted to do labor. So I had a choice.
Let me ask you this. Why?
Because my mother was a union leader. She was with HSTA, and she was the NEA director at one point. So, statistically, a lot of kids of union leaders end up becoming labor lawyers. So I was...
Is there any other correlation, any other variables that pointing into that statistic? Like they were pretty much seeing parents suffering through all kind of stuff as a union leader, or...
No, I think it's just the world you live in, and you find it interesting, and you emulate your parents. So I went to law school thinking I was going to be a labor attorney on the labor side, came out and there were no jobs on the labor side, and only management was hiring. And then here I am on management side, because it tends to be one side or the other. So I ended up coming back to Hawaii because the only places where they had significant number
union presence is Hawaii.
Hawaii,
right? Perfect. So tell me, like, we're gonna hear the story from the back in the days in a little bit, but you as a business owner,
right,
and also attorney, what is your trade? How do you manage your personal time with your professional life? Because I know from the past experience interviewing some other attorneys is that you guys work a lot.
Yeah, we work an awful lot. I think part of it is your work and your personal life get meshed. So a lot of the things you do for fun might be things for the office, etc. I try to do something different. So like my stress relief is cooking. So I do gourmet cooking at home. Then I bring it to the office for everybody to eat. So that's
what did you
do.
cook last week?
What did I cook last?
Or this week?
This week? Let's see.
Do you usually do cooking during the weekend, or how does it
on
work?
the weekends, and then we eat it for the rest of the week. So, yeah. Let's see. We're still eating off Christmas and New Year's. So turducken or confit, those types of things. So this year was French food for Christmas. Yeah.
Nice. And do you take any courses to do that, or you're kind of winging it?
Yeah, we wing it.
What some
experiment?
videos
What do you call it? DIY. Look at the videos, get the cookbooks, and just start cooking. My daughters do the same thing for stress relief, so all of us will be in the kitchen. In fact, I remodeled my kitchen so we could fit 4 cooks at the same time.
Wow.
Yep. But that's the stress relief.
Does that affect you? How people eat a lot or you need to exercise too?
No, you make it and then you don't want to eat it. You taste it and that's it.
You're kind of full by the time the meal is finished. So I guess you balancing by having kind of something to do different than a work.
That's right.
Okay, but let's say if you're doing that once a week, what about those nights you come home, still thinking about this case that you may be working on? How do you turn on and off that switch in your head?
If I
grab a bottle of wine?
Well, yes,
watch
wine. We like wine.
Series?
Oh, no, and then we watch sci-fi.
Sci-fi.
Right. Just watch sci-fi.
Perfect. Do you do any other stuff? Any other hobbies?
Let's see. After that, there's not enough time. The rest of it is at the office. So we're shopping for food, cooking, eating, watching sci-fi, and then go back to work. So that's kind of like the routine.
How many days a week do you work?
Usually 6, sometimes 7, depending on whether or not we have trials or other deadlines.
But you've been attorney for a while, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now you have your own practice.
Right.
You're going to learn what you did before. But I guess even in a past life where you were still attorney, you still work long hours. How did that affect family? Right now I learned that your kids are out of the house, so it's easier, right?
Yeah, well, they're out of the house. They're attorneys. They work with me.
But then, just thinking of past, when you had a family and young family growing, how is that affecting?
How
was that?
That was hard. You needed, and that's one of the reasons you moved back home to Hawaii, because you have grandparents.
Support system.
That's right. And my husband was a pilot. So while he'd be flying, he'd put out schedules. So Monday, Wednesday, Friday was my parents' pickup. Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday was my in-laws' pickup, and then you just rotate like that. And so you end up with a village taking care of the kids. But it works, close family. That's right. Yep. They all got jobs.
Because you can probably see
education.
that in younger attorneys, and maybe your family, your kids, since they're attorney, you probably see the same pattern.
Yes, they'll probably end up, bringing the kids over for grandma, grandpa, or somebody to help out. But that's why you live here. I think that's what a lot of people do. They move home for family support.
When you have so many attorneys in one household, how do you guys get agreed on one thing? You vote?
Because we're too busy cooking and eating and watching sci-fi.
Perfect. Well, I appreciate a little bit you sharing a little bit about yourself. Today's guest is Anna Ilento Sneed. I said that right. President and also attorney of ESNA, a law corporation. You can find them at esnalaw.com. Also, the phone number, what is the good one? 729?
Yes.
729-9401. By the way, ES&A stands for Envision, Strategize, and Actualize. My name is Marko Mijuskovic. You're listening to Hawaii Money Resource. We're going to take our first break for today. Do not change the channel. Stay tuned, and we'll be right back.
.760 KGU.
Part of the Wall Street Business Network.
The accident near Vineyard Boulevard downtown has been moved. Also on Kamehameha Highway in Waihole, the vehicle blocking travels has also been cleared. In town, there are problems on the H1 westbound where you're looking over an hour plus commute time from downtown Honolulu to the Makakilo, Kapolei areas. Also, there's an incident near the Like highway connector to the H1 eastbound. There's a stalled out vehicle there creating a hazard to the flow of traffic.
My grades were bad. I would get D's and C's.
I appeared to be doing good at my school life, but if you would see me at home, it would have been a completely different story.
I mean, it was just rough focusing on school when your mother is somebody you have to take care of. It got worse and worse and worse throughout the years.
There are students who need somebody.
They can trust someone, and it could be the first person they've ever trusted in their life.
Communities in Schools is lowering America's dropout rate by helping more than 1.3 million kids every year get whatever they need to succeed in school.
If something was going on at home, we would go just stop by Miss Liberty's office and talk to her.
Communities in Schools vouched for me when everyone else had lost hope.
You can help change the picture of education right here in your community and across the nation. Visit communitiesinschools.org.
I hear people say we can't save every kid, but I think that we can.
I'm Marko Mijuskovic, a partner at Wealth Strategy Partners, one of the region's fastest growing financial services companies. I have a BA, MBA, MSIS, and CExP, but what you come to me for are numbers. I help make your numbers better. Investment numbers, tax numbers, retirement numbers. So let's start with a few important numbers. The first number is 0. That's what it costs to listen to Hawaii Money Resource, my daily radio show. Next number is 7:60 a.m. Last is 5 when my show starts, Monday through Friday night. It all adds up to 60 very profitable minutes.
Registered representative and financial advisor of Park Avenue Securities, LLC, PAS, OSJ 7 Hanover Square, New York, New York, 10004, 1-888-600-4667. Securities products and advisory services offered through PAS member FINRA SIPC. Financial representative of the Guardian Life Insurance Company of America. Guardian, New York, New York. PAS is an indirect wholly owned subsidiary of Guardian. Wealth Strategy Partners, LLC is not an affiliate or subsidiary of PAS or Guardian. 2014-16224, expiration 1/2017.
How would you like to work in the world of finance? Wealth Strategy Partners is considering smart, motivated financial associates. You will have the potential to earn competitive earnings while providing a necessary service to the community. Furthermore, when you join Wealth Strategy Partners, you will be eligible to receive a full benefits package, including insurance, a pension plan, and more. If you enjoy working with people and have an interest in making a difference in people's lives, contact Wealth Strategy Partners, 695-2102. That's 695-2102. Make the call that could change your life. 695-2102. Join Wealth Strategy Partners. 695-2102. Registered representative and financial advisor of Park Avenue Securities, LLC, abbreviated PAS, 7 Hanover Square, New York, New York, 10004. Securities products or services and advisory services are offered through PAS, a registered broker-dealer and investment advisor. 888-600-4667. PAS is a member of FINRA SIPC.
You're listening to Hawaii Money Resource with financial advisor Marko Mijuskovic. If you'd like to speak to Marko, either on the air or after the show, call toll-free from Oahu and the outer islands, 877-695-2102. That's 877-695-2102.
Welcome back. You're listening to Hawaii Money Resource. My name is Marko Mijuskovic, senior partner at Wealth Strategy Partners, also certified exit planner, and you're listening to Hawaii Money Resource every day, Monday to Friday, 5 to 6 p.m. Listen, don't forget to check us online. If you're seeing my articles in PBN, you can read them also on our website at hawaiimoneyresource.com. They are under the section latest post. The latest one is exiting your business can be a lot like exiting 2015. Anyway, let's go back to our guest today, Ana Lentos-Need, president and attorney of ESNA, a law corporation, and Vision, Strategize, and Actualize. That's actually what these three letters stands for. You can also find them online at esnalaw.com. Phone number 729-9401. Why don't we repeat quickly what do you guys do, and then we're going to go back in a days.
Yeah, we're a law firm. We represent employers in labor, employment, government contracts, corporate governance, and soon to launch cybersecurity.
That sounds interesting because, I mean, not so many law companies out there doing it.
That's right.
But it is a pretty big issue, especially when you're dealing with the different countries.
That's right.
Right, because
right.
each country, maybe even state has a different rules and regulation. People need to stay on top of it, especially if they're dealing with international clients.
That's right.
And we're going to talk about it in our third segment. So before we go there, let's go down the memory lane and learn what happened in Anna's life that she became entrepreneur.
I think what happened is I'm part of this global organization called the Employment Law Alliance, which is a network of labor and employment attorneys. So about 6 years ago, we had a consultant come in to talk about the studies he'd done on labor and employment, which showed basically contraction in the industry with less law firms because of technology, competition, and consultants. And we've actually seen this in our practice. And so the writing was on the wall. Labor and employment is kind of like the canary in the tunnel, that the price pressures from non-attorneys, the pressures or demands from the clients to lower the fees but still provide all the services, and the government making it more and more complicated because they keep passing laws, meant that we actually had to figure out a different way, a different business model if we wanted to continue. I was with a firm and had been almost my practice or my career with traditional law firms, where you have partners. The idea is do your work, you'll become a partner, you make your money, and then you retire. But that's not what's going on right now. There are companies that are going out of business, and I don't have enough time. I've got to retire. I've got quite a few more years. So I had to rethink the business model, and that's what we are. So we separated to take advantage of technology, basically. So we're a paperless office. We use the technology, and we invested heavily in software that could be customized to eliminate a lot of back office people. It's all automated in our systems.
Well, we're going to talk about this. Came from somewhere. Like you have a numerous year of experience working for a traditional law corporation. So what was the experience you got there? And usually when you finish your, like you mentioned earlier, you went into this because your family members in the union, you wanted to be in this kind of field. And then there was no job. You came back to Hawaii, start working.
Right. And so what you do, like all lawyers, because when I started...
Like a jump on a treadmill with everybody else in a 24-hour fitness, right?
And that's when I first started, because I'm old enough, that they just started implementing timekeeping. Somebody had a brilliant idea. Instead of being charged, because when I first started the first year, we would charge a fee per month to the clients, and you just get whatever services, and you didn't charge by the hour or by the minute. And then I remember them saying, no, now we have to do it by, every 10 minutes or every
quarter.
6 minutes, whatever it was. And everybody's struggling to keep track of everything.
Is that true? Like right off these 6 minutes, I was using the email.
Yeah, that's right. You have to account for every 6 minute increments. That's what they call timekeeping. And what happened is everything got more and more about keeping the billable hour. And then people came up with this brilliant idea of benchmarking, so that every lawyer, every associate should bill, account for those 6 minute increments for 1,800, or if you're really good, 2,000 or more than 2,000 hours. And that's how you made money. You book the time, bill the time, and then as you get more experience, you increase your billing rate. The math becomes very simple. Subtract out your expenses. Trouble is, who wants to be the client paying for the ever-increasing hours and costs while nothing is getting done, especially when most clients don't think of labor employment law to be a money maker. It's a money sucker, you know.
Right.
So that's why we're the canary. We don't create revenue. We use up your revenue.
Well, that's something we talk about offline. And
Yeah.
I said, like, general perception is that attorneys are billing per hour, per 6 minutes, or whatever you say, and just dragging their feet to get something accomplished. And they're running around bush because they just want to rack up those hours.
That's right.
And everybody hates it.
That's right. And so what we have now, and we heard it in that organization, was kind of like a rebellion by general counsel. These are the attorneys who control what the clients, the larger clients, insurance companies, will pay and who they will retain. So what they were demanding was more control. Explain your bills to us. Don't give us a big hunk of hours and say pay this. So account for all of your time. I want guidelines. You're not going to bill me for XYZ. Pretty soon they wanted only certain people on it, so you didn't let young associates learn on you. And there were more and more guidelines and restrictions. Now what they've done, and you can see it go across Europe and Australia actually are leading it, is what they call alternate fee billing. They want to go back to the days where they paid a set fee and got unlimited service. They don't want to pay by the hour.
So does that make more sense?
I think for businesses, yes, because they have budgets they have to account for. And then if you can't control it, you know, the business owner, you know, the boss, the CEO is going to make a decision. Do I really need the absolute best? Because this isn't, you know, a make or break case. Or can I get by with something mediocre that's cheaper? You know, and that's just a value and a budget proposition. So 9 times out of 10, you're not going to be making law on a case. So you'll pick the medium size or the lower price, whatever you can get away with. And that's what's happening. And in fact, that's why we have insurance coverage. Employment litigation used to be big business, a lot of money, but then they figured out how to make it cheaper by putting the insurance companies on it, and then the pressure to be efficient, no, we're not going to pay for this starts. So what you have is, in MBA terms, basically the product life cycle, you know, and the commoditization of law. And now they're talking about, and you can see that on the internet, being it roboticized.
Right, so it's a lot of stuff you can go online, cookie
Yeah.
cutter, fill in the blanks, and you get a will or trust or some kind
All
of document.
kinds of alternatives.
Get your LLC set up online. I mean, you can do all kind of stuff, eliminate all the manpower and overhead.
Right.
Well, I guess you being in this industry for how many years?
Going to be 32.
So being in this industry for 32 years, you know, changes eventually need to happen.
That's right.
Right, and you either do something or you continuously hear from the clients that they're not happy.
That's right.
Right, and they go to someone else. Right, or
There's-
you can make the change. So right now, the stuff that you guys are doing in your business, how many actually law firms are actually doing something?
I don't think I've counted them. I know it's more than a handful. It's primarily European firms. And as I said, Australian firms are doing it, but it's beginning to catch on the coasts, you know, where you have the really large
What about
law
here?
firms. Here in Hawaii, I don't know any. The Hawaii tends to be the end of the wave. So, you know, besides myself, I know, I don't know how many law firms are actually looking at it. I do know some have been looking at the software you were using, but we're kind of odd, you know, what do you call it? The early adapter, but not for San Francisco and New York. You know, there are firms there that are doing it.
And where did you realize that this need to happen?
About 6 years ago, after I came back from that trip to London, saying, "Oh my gosh, it's going to happen and quickly," and it has happened very quickly. And where there are firms now who have the means that are actually beginning to create their own software program to roboticize all of their work. it's going to be
because it's necessary. Not
right.
Not every trust document is built from the scratch. Not every legal contract is built from the scratch. Not every. I mean, it's not.
No, it isn't. And the question is then, what if all someone needs is a document that can be done as a cookie cutter or commoditized? What's left for the lawyers? And the answer that the people are coming to is what you cannot roboticize is the experience and the advice. That you can actually have a lawyer who has that much experience explain how everything connects up. Because
and why is in that part of that agreement, right?
And what is the chances? Sooner or later, somebody will roboticize it, but for now, no. But how many lawyers have that breadth of experience that they can talk about that? That's the question. Because what we did in the 80s was to become just like all the specialty surgeons. I only do eyes. I only do heart surgery. Problem is, it's a whole body. And so where does business get that kind of advice? And that's what we're trying to do.
Do you see this as an ultimate threat to your industry in general?
I think it is.
To some extent?
Yeah, to some extent. And I think that's what the law firms are struggling with is how fast will it happen? Where will I be? Will I be able to retire
before that stuff
before it happens, and then it'll be somebody else's problem, And I think every lawyer is in the industry worldwide is going to have to think about that, and the pace will depend, upon how fast their country embraces the technology, and some places are going very, very fast. So we'll see.
Perfect. Well, you mentioned that your firm is relatively young. So you started relatively. What prompted you to go your direction? And, you saw the changes 6 years ago, but your firm only started like less than a year ago.
Yeah.
So what prompted you to go the route of being your own boss, cutting your own checks, being in control fully versus someone else?
I think I've been always attracted to that because I have a definite idea of a business model. The way that I think it can provide better, cost-effective, more valuable services for my clients. And the question was, how do you convince enough people to do it? And reality is not everybody's an early adapter. And not everybody is used to or wants to change.
Right.
Yeah.
People are generally not prone to changes.
Yeah. And for me, it's probably because I watch a lot of sci-fi. The future is actually very interesting to me. And so trying something new and, trying to hold together a concept has always been appealing. And that's what we're doing. That's what makes us different. We call ourselves a next-gen firm. And we're not talking about the fact that, the attorneys are younger. What we're talking about is the fact that this is version 2.0 of a legal business model. And it's not something I dreamed up in my head. There's a lot of research out there about behind it.
Just people need to get to do it. And I noticed this is not the only thing, I guess, that you guys doing differently, because not so many lawyers at least don't even come to my show and they brought their marketing person with them.
That's true. There are some people who have large law firms tend to have marketing people.
Yeah, but they don't bring them with them. So,
but Deb's a partner. No partner in a sense for business because, what she does is to help explain in non-lawyer language what we do, and that every lawyer, every person who's a professional needs somebody that can talk to other people, so that, we think we are understandable, but not necessarily. That's her job. Help us translate.
Perfect. Today's guest is Ana Ilentos-Sneed, President and Attorney of ESNA Law Corporation. ESNA stands for Envision, Strategize, and Actualize. It's a 2.0 in a law business when it comes to the law model, how to run a law practice. You can find them online, esnalaw.com, or also 729-9401. My name is Marko Mijuskovic. You're listening to Hawaii Money Resource. Let's take our next break. Do not change the channel, and we'll be right back.
760 KGU.
Part of the Wall Street Business Network.
There's an accident in Kaimuki. This one is on Wailea Avenue near Kapiolani Boulevard. You'll want to avoid this area. Also in town near the Honolulu Zoo, a report of an accident affecting the Kapahulu Avenue area there. Westbound on the H1 from Punahou Street, it's back up to freeway speed through downtown, although it looks like you'll be hitting the brakes again as you approach the Middle Street interchange. Your drive time from the airport area to Makakilo area is approaching an hour and 10 minutes with the current traffic conditions.
Peter Herrick was a 34-year-old carpenter when he joined the Navy Reserve. Peter's wife, Diana.
They were deployed to build schools and bases and to assist the Marines.
When the mortar round hit, I was completely knocked out. I didn't wake up until 6 days later.
Paralyzed veteran, Senior National Service Officer Raymond Bruce.
I saw Pete when he was at his worst. He didn't know if he was going to live to be able to see his daughter graduate from high school.
Raymond knew that I needed help figuring out where do we go from here.
We not only represent the veteran, but we represent the whole family.
11 months we stayed in the hospital down in Tampa.
We advocate, we educate, and we process claims through the VA, and we follow that claim from the beginning to the end.
Without Paralyzed Veterans of America, I really honestly believe I'd still be in the hospital.
You can help our paralyzed veterans. To learn more, visit pva.org, a public service of Paralyzed Veterans of America.
People put a lot of thought into going into business, but not so much into how they'll get out, which makes it easy to get stuck. That's why Marko Mijuskovic handpicks a team of lawyers, accountants, tax, and industry specialists to help you make your business exit plan. You get yourself into business, Marko will help you get out.
Registered representative and financial advisor of Park Avenue Securities, LLC, PAS, OSJ 7 Hanover Square, New York, New York, 10004, 1-888-600-4667. Securities, products, and advisory services offered through PAS, member FINRA, SIPC, financial representative of the Guardian Life Insurance Company of America. Guardian, New York, New York, PAS is an indirect wholly owned subsidiary of Guardian. Wealth Strategy Partners, LLC is not an affiliate or subsidiary of PAS or Guardian. 2015-09890.
You're listening to Hawaii Money Resource with financial advisor Marko Mijuskovic. If you'd like to speak to Marko, either on the air or after the show, call toll-free from Oahu and the outer islands, 877-695-2102. That's 877-695-2102.
Welcome back. You're listening to Hawaii Money Resource. My name is Marko Mijuskovic, senior partner at Wealth Strategy Partners, also certified exit planner. You're listening to Hawaii Money Resource daily, Monday to Friday, 5 to 6 p.m. You can also stream live online, hawaiimoneyresource.com, hawaiimoneyresource.com. Don't forget to download the podcast if you miss any segment of our show today. And don't forget also that you can call us if you have any questions, concerns, anything you would like to talk about, your business owner, have something to share with us. Maybe you're stuck with your business, you don't know how to get out of that business. Give me a call, 695-2102. Let's go back to our guest today, Ana Ilento Sneed, president and attorney of ES&A Law Corporation. ES&A stands for Envision, Strategize, and Actualize. You can find them online at esnalaw.com. Different type of company, different type of law firm. What I'm learning today is that all those frustrations that people have dealing with the attorneys, all those frustration of never knowing how much you're going to get billed, or never knowing that first 10 minutes of chit-chatting over the phone actually costed you $150 without you knowing that until you get the bill. It's all old school. Right now we're talking about 2.0 version of how to run law practice. So, Anna, tell me about the early stages of beginning of your company.
Yeah.
How was that?
It was a mad rush, and then there's no way to go around it. And I think everybody who starts their own company. I do a lot of strategic planning with clients. That's what we do. And, we run lists. So, of course, we run the list. We do all the planning, get everything going.
Did you have a business plan?
Oh, yeah. Business plan, everything done. And you have all the checklists, all the forms. Because, after all, we give it to the clients. But what you have to, what was a good reminder for us, is that you can have the best plans and do everything, but darn, stuff happens. And it's usually not you, it's other people. And so you actually have to react, and things don't go perfectly. And so you have to be able to say, okay, breathe, now figure out what to do and keep moving, and it's juggling a lot of balls. But making sure that you keep your eye on what they say, the critical path engineers.
So give me an example of something that didn't went the way you wanted to go and you needed to fix it or go over the hurdle.
Oh, for example,
I know money is always the problem.
Yeah,
you always need 3 times more or 5 times more than you need.
Yeah, so what we want, we have actually open workspace, and collaborative seating, so there are no walls. And one of the things I thought we would be able to do, because we were looking at a particular product, was to buy the kind of walls where we'd have minimal construction and all the tech, all the wiring was embedded in the walls. And so we looked for a firm that could do that. And we got all set, all planned and everything. And because there's no construction, you don't have as much building permit issues, etc. So what ended up happening is their designers got hospitalized sick. You can't plan that. And then we found out the walls and the size of I guess it was the ceiling wasn't tall enough or something. So it's like, oh my gosh, 6 weeks in and we have to stop and get a designer, get a contractor, reconfigure. So you go from thinking that you'll be able to do furniture leasing, because the walls were considered furniture, to now we have to actually do a wall construction with glass. And, that slows down. And that stuff happens. What are you going to do?
Was that part of the TI, tenant improvement, where you were renting the
part
space,
of it.
Or you needed to write a check?
Oh no, because we weren't on time. We ended up having to go find alternate space, and we were lucky because our neighbors have rent an office type of space, and so we crowded 8 people into a room, maybe 10 by 16 feet. Or too little.
That was very collaborative.
Yes, it was the proverbial startup garages. Gorgeous view. We could see Diamond Head, but it looked like a garage. And so we sat like that for 2 months, and that's what happens. You just have to roll with it.
So that was one thing. How many people you had from the get-go?
Let's see. We started out with, how many of us? There were 8 of us, and then gradually people came over. So we are at 13 now. Yeah, so.
You mentioned earlier that it's not only like you having a vision, an idea or dream or whatever, but how you want to run your business, but sell the people on your vision and idea. How did you do that?
Oh, because I just sat down with them. That's one of the things too, is the vision. We have a 1-page diagram of the business model. And so for people who want to join us, I explain it to them and make sure that they understand what it requires. Because you really have to want to take
So
the
what is it?
initiative.
Why don't you share that with us? Unless it's a trade secret.
No, I think people have to be collaborative because we don't have walls. We don't have offices. We have what they call bench seating. So there is a nice large screen, and you take your laptop and you plug in a docking station. It's paperless, so people can move from seat to seat if you want, musical seats. And so in that kind of space, if you like to hide and not see people, well, this is not going to be for you because there are no walls. So you just walk in and you just have view. Even the outer walls are all glass. So it's like a little fishbowl. So that's hard for people. I think also because we work in teams and we work a lot of cases, if you're not real disciplined at trying to say, okay, I need to concentrate, you can get lost really quickly, because things are moving all the time, clients call, and it's very fast paced. So yeah, and then you have to actually, like learning, because one of the things that's kind of imposed by our area of law is they change it constantly. We have to get things like daily labor reports because they actually change it that fast. So if you don't like to look at the big picture and kind of guess where things are going, you're not going to like our area and what we do. But we do. So, we talk about it. We spend a lot of time networking with people. We do a lot of non-billable work, working with different lawyers like billable, non-billable. What we do a lot of work that people don't get charged for, just because we think it's important for our clients to learn. So we do teach, give free seminars, all kinds of things.
Okay, you mentioned earlier that there is like, if the client want to hire you, first of all, let's talk about who will be the ideal client that can get maximum out of your firm.
I think it's a client that wants somebody to like partner with them, that they want to be able to pick up the phone, call us, and then say, what do you think? And then it's a client who's willing to learn, and they want to keep up. They don't want to wait till they crash and then go get somebody to get them out of the mess. They prefer to, if they crash, somebody will fix it, but the object is to keep them out of the crash. And so those type of people that are more proactive tend to work or appreciate what we do better.
And second, you said like that you have 4 different type of compensation.
Oh, yeah, that's one
or
of
structure.
That's right, because a little firm or company is not going to want to pay the same as a big company because they have different budget financial restrictions. So what we developed is 4 different ways. So we can have the traditional hourly, and believe it or not, some companies prefer to just be billed by the hour, and we can do that. We also have flat rates. So if all you wanted was an employee handbook or a contract, we could give it to you.
So it's like a per project.
Yeah. Or if you have really large projects, very large that are going to take several months, we can negotiate a rate for that as well. And then the last one, which a lot of smaller companies like, is what we call the monthly fixed retainer. So you get a set amount per month, and you get unlimited service. You can just pick up the phone, ask us a question, and we'll walk you through things.
But there's a cap to that, right?
It's just a flat fee,
Yeah, but I cannot call you and be on the phone with you for 24 hours.
Most people don't because they have other things to do, but we don't count and say up to a cap, because the idea is to basically have the business relationship, teach them how to fix things. I mean, believe it or not, companies do not want to sit on the phone for 5 hours,
with the attorneys.
With their attorneys. They have other things to do. They just want to know that I'm not going to start the clock and charge them by the minute. So they'll pay a set fee for certainty in order for us to...
So you have a per hour if they wanted that.
Yeah.
You have per project. You have a retainer. And what is the 4th one?
The negotiated. The project, we have flat rates for products.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, specific products. So... And people choose different combinations depending on what their budget is and what they're trying to do.
So you mentioned earlier that this, for someone who's just tuning in and didn't hear the whole story from the beginning, you are using a lot of technology.
Yes.
So you have softwares to automate a lot of work.
Right.
So that can keep the overhead down. So that can also help people have these 4 options.
That's right.
Right? So it makes sense for you as a business owner, but also for the clients. What else you have outside of the box? You have a collaborative space.
Right.
People that work for you need to be certain type of attorneys.
Right.
Right.
A lot of them have multiple degrees, so we tend to want people that have a broader view of business and law, not just law, but an understanding of business so that they can work out basically options for solutions and work with the client to pick the best one for them. So those tend to be people who have more than 1 degree or different ways of looking at a problem, and they tend to be more effective with the clients. As I said, we do a lot of seminars and training because we think if you can do 1-by-1 client to help them get fixed, but sometimes it's much more cost effective. Come in, we'll just do a seminar. Here's what you're supposed to do, and they all go and they know what to do now, and so that helps us to be more efficient, or them to be a better. In terms of keeping their house clean.
Was there any adjustments since original business plan that you developed? Was there any adjustments once because once you develop business plan, it's all good until you start doing it in practical. Was there any adjustments to it? Were there any changes on the road last 10, 12 months?
Not really.
Modification or, you find out this might not work?
I think the program or our business model is not so tight that we have specific things. Like we do experiment, like what's the best way to deliver information to the clients. So webinars, is it in-person seminars, how? So we're experimenting with that, the best times for the clients. But that's the basic concept of giving them information, value-added service, no fee, is part of it. So it's just what's the optimum way to do the delivery. I think it's too early to decide whether or not we need to make adaptations in the model. I mean, because it's only 10 months. It hasn't been long enough. But we've seen tremendous growth from a business standpoint. We started off with 42 clients. We have more than doubled it, in 10 months. And these are
So that
clients.
was my next question, like where is these clients coming from? How do you source your clients?
That we've got to look at those stats. We're about to go look at our first 10 months of statistics. But what we generally get is either from our the alliances that we're part of.
Center of influences.
Yeah, and some are referrals from friends. We've been experimenting with, advertisements in different things to basically let people know, hey, we're still here. And so we kind of track to see how people actually purchase legal services. A lot of it is by word of mouth. I heard so-and-so does something. A lot of it is through going through seminars so they can see and then they learn, oh, I should be doing this, and then asking for assistance, But that's just part of our line of business.
I know in the attorney's world there is a lot of restrictions how you can approach and advertise.
Mm-hmm. Right. And that's what Bev does. Our marketing director helps us keep track of all of that, and we look as well. But I think even that, a lot of law firms are experimenting with trying to get themselves out there. So you will see law firms on LinkedIn, social media. Everyone has a website. And doing other things, television, radio, whatever. It's all about communicating and letting people know that you're there and what you can provide.
Perfect. Why don't we take our last break for today, and then we're going to wrap up today's show with Anna Lentos-Need, resident and attorney of ESNA, a law corporation. ESNA stands for Envision, Strategize, and Actualize. My name is Marko Mijuskovic. You're listening to Hawaii Money Resource. Stay tuned, and we'll be right back.
KGU.
Part of the Wall Street Business Network.
Westbound H1 has improving conditions. Your drive time from downtown to the H1, H2 interchange is close to 40 minutes. HPD is still working the Kaimuki accident near Wailai Avenue and Kapiolani Boulevard. Also in town, eastbound on Ala Moana Boulevard, there is congestion as you approach Kaka'ako due to an accident near Ward Avenue. Traffic through town on the H1 eastbound is still slow because of an accident earlier near Kokohead Avenue.
Achieving personal financial success can be complicated. Marko Mijuskovic can make it simpler. That's something very good to know in a world where the wrong financial decisions can be all too costly. Marko Mijuskovic, Vice President of Wealth Strategy Partners, has been helping people in Hawaii successfully organize and plan their finances for years. Marko uses an holistic approach to help you balance your current financial obligations as well as your future concerns. And he does this while keeping things simple. Organizing your finances is serious business, but it doesn't have to be complicated. Find out how Marko can help you make smart, informed decisions about your financial future. Call him and schedule your complimentary session and tell him your story. He's there to listen. The toll-free number to call is 877-695-2102. That's 877-695-2102. 877-695-2102. Marko Mijuskovic.
We all want to retire someday, but how will you afford it? Marko Mijuskovic here, financial advisor for Wealth Strategy Partners. Times are tough, but nothing brings comfort and security like having a financial strategy. Some financial strategies can be complicated, all those numbers and percentage points. It makes your head spin, but that's why I created an easier to understand system called Retirement Income Timeline. Let me analyze your situation using my retirement income timeline, and I'll show you how you may be able to turn your money worries of today into a stress-free retirement of tomorrow. It's easy. Just call me and I'll assist you. Get your personal retirement income timeline by me, Marko Mijuskovic, today. Call 695-2102, 695-2102.
Registered representative and financial advisor of Park Avenue Securities, LLC, abbreviated PAS, 7 Hanover Square, New York, New York, 10004. Securities products or services and advisory services are offered through PAS, a registered broker-dealer and investment advisor. 888-600-4667. PAS is a member FINRA SIPC.
You're listening to Hawaii Money Resource with financial advisor Marko Mijuskovic. If you'd like to speak to Marko, either on the air or after the show, call toll-free from Oahu and the outer islands, 877-695-2102. That's 877-695-2102.
Welcome back. You're listening to Hawaii Money Resource. My name is Marko Mijuskovic, and you are listening to Hawaii Money Resource every day, Monday to Friday, 5 to 6 p.m. We do have a guest today. Today's guest is Anna Ilento Sneed, president and attorney of ES&A, a law corporation, esnalaw.com. Before I ask you 3 questions that we always ask on the end of the show, I'm going to ask you to tell me a little bit about cybersecurity and your guys' specialty.
Yeah, it's kind of like another offshoot of our compliance, labor, and employment. Cybersecurity, you hear in the news, you hear about hacking, you hear about, controlling your computers, whatever is in there, but nobody talks about how do you stop it. I mean, obvious thing is to the engineers, but actually 50% of the problems are caused by your employees because they don't know anything about the security. And so because we try to provide the service to our clients, that's what we're working on now, protocols, to try and explain, because most companies don't understand what the IT department does and the engineering and the wires and how it works. And so we have somebody who's actually an engineer, and who's working with, computer engineers to try and develop a program, which we hope to launch.
Because technically, I know in our business, we needed to encrypt all the computers. We need to do all kind of stuff.
Right.
And it's a privacy. And if someone loses the laptop, you need to kill her. You need to have ways how to kill it. Cell phones too, because if the data is lost, you can actually put you out of the business.
That's right.
Because you need to pay for their credit monitoring for a year, but if you have 10,000 clients and you need to do it for 10,000, that's like a lot of dineros.
Right, and it's not just your tech that you buy for your employees to use. It's also what your employees bring in, what they call the bring your own device. Their cell phones or smartphones, their iPads. That sometimes companies think, oh, it'll be cheaper if they bring their own laptops. Yeah, except it comes with a virus and something that crawls through your system, and then it's all done. And so people have to learn about that, and that's what we're hoping to offer.
Perfect. So on the end of the show, I'm asking, what is the vision, ultimately?
For us, I think it is to continue to provide, the type of service where it's more proactive. It helps companies or businesses that want to make sure they have good pillars in place, so that they can run their businesses and they don't have to, do it by fits and starts, go see if you get sued and then fix. You just want to
be proactive versus reactive.
Very proactive.
It's like today's health industry.
That's right. It's kind of like the health industry, just for businesses. I think that's our future. I think ultimately we're going to have to keep watching what happens with the technology because it is going fast. I don't think even version 2.0 will be the end. It will go elsewhere. There's things on the internet now called humans need not apply, which for some of the groups that I work with internationally is the big debate. Are we going to basically automate workers out of existence? It's about the future of work.
Is attorney going to become commodity or not?
And not just attorneys, businesses, whole hordes
industries.
of industries and
even
jobs.
Our industries too.
That's right.
Anyway, so second question, just 10 seconds. What is your exit strategy out of this business?
Out of mine is to make sure the people that I hired can run it so I can actually go home, watch more sci-fi, cook, and drink wine.
Word of wisdom for someone who is getting into the business, right? Doesn't need to generally be attorney, but just in general, if they're getting into the business, what you will suggest?
I think they need to think about law as another type of business and to take a look and research what's happening. I think some of the law schools, if you really want to go into law, are only now beginning to realize that. So look for one that actually realizes there's something going on. And that's what my
And be
suggestion.
proactive.
And be proactive.
Perfect. And don't forget to have that business plan because it might save you a few bucks. Anyway, today's guest was, and he still is, Anna Lentos-Sneed. Anna, thank you so much for being guest at Hawaii Money Resource.
Thank you.
This was a great show, a lot of information. If you want to learn something new when it comes to the law and running the law practice and law business, make sure you download the podcast. Today's guest was Anna Lentos-Sneed, President and Attorney of ESNA. ESNA, Vision Strategize Actualize. My name is Marko Mijuskovic, Senior Partner of Strategy Partners. Stay tuned, and we'll be right back.
The Living Balance Sheet and the Living Balance Sheet logo are registered service marks of the Guardian Life Insurance Company of America, New York, New York. The graphics and text used herein are the exclusive property of Guardian and protected under U.S. and international copyright laws. Copyright 2005 to 2011. The Guardian Life Insurance Company of America. This show is for informational purposes only. Individual risk tolerance and investment objectives must be reviewed prior to making any specific recommendations. Marko Mijuskovic is a registered representative and financial advisor for Park Avenue Securities, LLC, 7 Hanover Square, New York, New York, 10004. Securities products, services, and advisory services are offered through Park Avenue Securities, a registered broker-dealer and investment advisor. 888-600-4667. Financial representative, the Guardian Life Insurance Company of America, New York, New York. Park Avenue Securities is an indirect, wholly owned subsidiary of the Guardian Life Insurance Company of America. Wealth Strategy Partners is not an affiliate or subsidiary of Park Avenue Securities or the Guardian Life Insurance Company of America. Park Avenue Securities is a member FINRA SIPC.